to invite the mighty Sabine huynh. Come on down.
It's hard not to think of a place where dogs met their fate on railway tracks or in unkempt backyards, where a father with chapped lips planted tulips around a dying cherry tree, where a mother's screams scared dust and kids into dark corners, where children watched TV in the garage. Why in the garage? Where they played with a wheelbarrow inside and paper cutouts outside, yet they lived in town. It's hard to ignore a fact like that. I can only think of it here. A flying ant above my head, a white falcon perched on my thumb. If I thought of it there, where it all happened, I'd turn into that silent child again and never come back. What is dying in that hand? There was that hand, delicate, with a ring sparkling on one of the fingers, a hand stranded by a dark stain. A delicate hand with fingers pointing towards me. They're begging, already lifeless, on the shiny floor tiles by the washing machine. There was also that black lump spreading, not linked to the hand, the body, her hair. There was no face. It looked like a dog, asleep. It was fallen, fainting, imperceptible, a collapsed world. And yet, I believe I remember a profile, shut eyes, white lips that were not lying. She loved life with passion but was detached from it. I found her fascinating, like those actresses whose faces were made up with ecstasy. Before I managed to grasp whose hair, whose hand, which didn't look like anything, before the shadow swallowed that blinding scene, pushing light away, hands pulled me backwards, the neighbor's voice, "Come, do you like sweets? I have some at home. Come, quick." I didn't know I was supposed to run away. I stood on the threshold, torn, feeling good, wrapped into silence that was both absolute and heavy, despair at work. Through the window I could see the flowering branches of the cherry tree swinging. I now hear Debussy's Clair de Lune being played on the piano we fought over years later. The impenetrable was held in that hand, that foreign hand which looked as if someone had dropped it there, cut off from light. A few years earlier, in a hotel. I was very small then, during what was my first night in France. I slept, stranded by a bed, cold skin on hard tiles. That hand, where was it then, and what was it doing? Black was its fate. The leftovers. After I've cooked myself all the treats, I don't feel any better. They lie untouched, like dead slugs, in the green clay bowls we were given on one of our wedding anniversaries. Shame on you for saying things like that. You told me more than once. Tears in my throat add salt to the sour taste in my mouth. My fingers smell of garlic, my wrists of lime, my face skin of fried onion, my breasts, my hair, the back of my knees are zesty like grapefruit blossom. Between my legs, my vagina, the pineapple yogurt abyss you were afraid of looking in the eyes, hosts a legion of good writing. Soon I will be sitting to a meal that tastes just like everything you stopped desiring. Large and briny, sweet and tangy, light and umami, just like this poem. Hairy like artichoke hearts, crisp like cauliflowers in vinaigrette. Raw pleasure that cracks between the teeth. But my scent was seldom of your sexual sweat. In bed, our limbs lied disengaged, as white as grains of rice, bedbug eggs that made my skin crawl, as stiff as celery sticks, my lonely married pelvic bones breaking with a snap each time you turned your back on me, as lifeless as tomato slices bleeding their acidic juice on the plate. You always insisted that the bedroom be as dark as a coffin. After the meal, I will wrap the leftovers in my wedding dress and keep them under the bed. Perhaps the worms will weave into the brown and beige floral silk the pungency it lacks.